This is Bella, just over 2 years ago. In March of 2014, she was found starving to death near Fairbanks, Alaska, after being orphaned. If we had not given her a home at Montana Grizzly Encounter Sanctuary, the only humane option left would have been euthanization. Now, 2.5 years later, Bella is thriving at our sanctuary. Back in 2002, Casey Anderson, Amy Testa, and I, John Peterson, had a dream to take this 3-acre parcel near Bozeman, Montana at I-90 exit 319, bordered by an interstate highway on one side and a busy railroad on the other, and turn it into a sanctuary for grizzly bears that were going to be killed because they could not live in the wild for many different reasons. We would give these bears a loving home and let them educate the public about wild grizzly bear conservation and safety. Over the years, we've received lots of recognition for our work. In 2006, a story hosted by Bryant Gumbel was broadcast in prime time across the USA.
It's about some very thankful grizzly bears.
And in 2010, this feature, hosted by Sir Roger Moore, was broadcast all around the world.
That oftentimes, a little can do a lot.
These are the mountains of Montana where we found a special story of generosity and kindness. Here, some people took it upon themselves to help a threatened species, the grizzly, one bear at a time. Meet grizzly bear expert Casey Anderson.
Ever since I can remember, it was always my dream to work with wildlife, and now that dream's becoming a reality. This is Brutus. He's a 4-year-old grizzly bear. He's a bear that we rescued from a facility that breeds bears to sell to other zoos, and if they don't sell, they put them down. And we didn't want that to happen to Brutus. We felt that we could give grizzly bears like Brutus in situations like that a better home.
On Thanksgiving 3 years ago, Anderson received a call from the USDA Wild Animal Division. 1,000 miles away in Louisiana, 2 grizzlies were in an inhumane situation and were about to be euthanized if something was not quickly done to give them a proper home. Anderson decided he had to do what he could.
In fact, we'll get a crew together immediately and start our way down there. Like I said, it'll take us about 24 hours.
When he and his team arrived in Louisiana, they found Sheena and Christy, 2 grizzly bears that had spent all of their 18 years locked in horribly cramped 4 by 7 foot cages. Anderson and team carefully coaxed the 2 bears into their special trailer. Now the bears were ready for the journey to Montana. But Anderson was well aware that bears born in captivity can never be released into the wild. Without the almost 2 years of training wild cubs receive from their mothers, they could not survive. And bears born in captivity lose their natural fear of humans, a death sentence in the wild. That's when Anderson and his partners came up with the idea of the Montana Grizzly Encounter, where the public could come and learn about grizzly bears as they watched the majestic animals up close in a spacious, natural mountain setting. The perfect plot of land was secured on top of Bozeman Pass. The idea immediately received great support from the community. People pitched in and came together, and the huge task was underway. Now the dream has become a reality. Sheena, Christy, and another rescued bear, Brutus, have the best and most natural home any captive grizzly bear could want. Each year, travelers on the I-90 stop at the Grizzly Encounter for a close-up look at the bears. At the same time, they learn about safety in grizzly country. And most important of all, thousands of school children come free of charge and learn what we need to do to preserve the species for future generations in the wild.
For the last 12 years, Montana Grizzly Encounter has provided a caring home for rescued bears that can live nowhere else. More than 100,000 people have come to watch and enjoy learning from them. And over 10,000 school children have come and learned from the experience free of charge. We feel that Montana Grizzly Encounter has provided a real benefit for grizzly bears and the community. But in July of 2016, the local zoning enforcement agent made a determination that we should not have some of the structures that we built at Montana Grizzly Encounter. This was a huge shock for us. When we built our sanctuary starting in 2002, there was no zoning in the area. The regulations that were passed 4 years later clearly say that structures already in place or on which construction has already begun are grandfathered and exempt from the new law. Yet the zoning agent still said some of our buildings were illegal. To us, it seemed obvious that determination was based not on the law, but on someone's own agenda. If these buildings have to be removed, in all likelihood, we will no longer be able to continue operating as a sanctuary. And that could mean an end to the lives of all 5 of our bears. In October, a hearing was held to determine our case. The zoning board received hundreds of letters of support from around the world, and people from all over the area took their time to come and speak on our behalf. At the hearing, the zoning board reversed some parts of the determination, but let other parts of it stand. We are now forced to file yet another legal appeal, this time in district court. My partners and I have given the last 12 years of our lives and have invested our life savings in the project. Back in 2002, we hired an engineering firm and began work according to their site plan, and construction to that design has been ongoing ever since. All we ask is that we be allowed to operate our sanctuary as it was intended according to the laws in place in 2002 and finish our construction as finances become available. For the last 12 years, we've operated successfully using only our own money and funds generated by admissions to watch our beautiful bears and sales from our gift shop. We have never used any tax dollars or grant money. But this year, that is impossible because of our legal battle. This unfair attack has cost us tremendously. The legal bill for our defense has risen to close to $35,000, and it's still not over. And this comes at the worst possible time because now winter is here, when admissions to the park are very low. We want our bears to live the best life we can give them, so we feed them every day year-round. And because of that, they don't feel the need to go into the physically stressful state of hibernation. And our attention to their care has paid off. Sheena, our oldest bear, is 30 years old now and still healthy. But this kind of care is expensive. Our 5 bears eat about 100 pounds of high-quality food every day. And winter in Montana brings all kinds of other challenges and expenses. That is why this year we must ask for your help. Please help us raise the money we need to get us through the winter and continue fighting to keep our sanctuary open. Please help us continue to provide a home for our 5 rescued grizzly bears and a place where thousands of people can come to enjoy and learn from them how we can protect wild grizzly bears for now and the future. On behalf of our 5 beautiful grizzly bears, Brutus, Sheena, Jake, Maggie, and Bella, thank you very much.